Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Karim Bakshabasi, speaking for the students of B.Ed Honors 5th semester. And the title of the course is Foundation of Reading. And my today's topic is top-down approach and bottom-up model of reading. I will try to shed light briefly on these two models of reading, and different teachers consciously or unconsciously teaching reading in these two ways, but they might know very little about its process, how they are used, because most of the things we do unconsciously, we are unaware of them because we have not thought about them while doing it. So I'm talking about top-down model theory of teaching reading. So what does it talks about? Top-down model of teaching reading tells us that reader, when reads, he looks for whole meaning in the text. The major function he performs is to collect the main idea of reading. He doesn't blend letters into words and then words into phrases, and then he counts sentences and then make the whole meaning. This is not his job. His job is not going to look for every difficult word which comes in his way, but what does he do? He tries to get the main idea of a passage, and you see that babies learn the language in the same way. They don't understand every word when mothers and fathers, parents speaks to them. They try to catch the message of the sentence, and this happens in every household. They are not going to blend letters and they are into sounds, and then try to understand sounds, what sound was spoken to that baby, and he goes in the depth of it and then connects letters into words and words into sentences. He doesn't do this. He tries to understand the message. So in top-down model of reading, a student's job is to understand the whole meaning of passage. Second thing he does is he is going to apply what he already knows, his background knowledge. Whenever he reads any text, he tries to use the context clues to understand it. I would quote one example of this. Suppose the word penalty has been used. So he, if he is reading about football match, and he has watched that match and he has listened that word, so he tries to get the meaning on the basis of his background knowledge. He thinks that what penalty is, what does it mean. He understands referee in this way. He doesn't understand scores in this way because he already knows about these words, and he tries to understand the context on the basis of what he already knows, his background knowledge. So top-down reading model supports reading in this way, that he is going to apply what he already knows. And third thing, the top-down model reading theory tells us the teacher encourages the active involvement of a children. He takes them to the library. Students are not confined in the class, and they don't only depend upon teachers' explanation, and they are not bound to read what teachers tell them to read, but they have been encouraged to select the books of their choice, and in this way they read the books of their interest, and the teacher urges them to read different books of their choice, and urges them to discuss them. He urges them to involve into the meaningful talk, and this thing increases his reading, and he gets speed in it. So teacher involves them into reading books. He takes them to library. He asks them to read the book of his choice. So teacher encourages active involvement. He doesn't talk all the time. Teacher doesn't talk all the time. He is not dominant in the class. Or when he takes them to the library, again he is not dominant, because students have selected the books of their choice. They read the books of their whatever they like, and they keep reading it and they keep repeating it, and this is the form of active involvement. So in top-down model, students' active involvement is emphasized. The last point of top-down model, reading model, is encourage perseverance. So what is perseverance? Teacher is going to read aloud in the class to encourage listening and speaking for the children. And when students are given the chance to read, teacher doesn't correct all their mistakes. And same happens with babies at home. When they talk, we don't correct them that this word should be uttered in this way or that word should be uttered in that way. No, we encourage their talk. We are ready to listen them. We don't stop correcting their mistakes, because all the time correction discourages the children to talk or to participate. So they are this repeatedly done in the class, and same happens in the writing. When they write, when they have free writing in the class, teacher again doesn't correct all their mistakes, because all the time correcting mistakes discourages them. So these were some of the points of top-down model of reading, and some of the teachers like it, consciously or unconsciously they apply. And on the other hand, there is a bottom-up approach of teaching reading. So what happens in bottom-up model of reading? So in bottom-up model of reading, learning to read, children learn to read by analyzing each piece of word. Means like jigsaw, like we have jigsaw puzzle. We are going to analyze each piece and try to understand it, then we fix it into the whole. Okay, so in bottom-up approach, teachers are going to teach students letters, their names, their sounds. They are connecting letters with the sounds, and then students are going to utter word, vocabulary. Then they are going to read it with some fluency, and in the end they are going to understand the message. Okay, so these all the processes takes place systematically, but what happens when top-down approach takes place, the bottom-up approach takes place, students are encouraged to read by connecting the jigsaw model. It is said that human mind functions like computer. It has the capacity to involve into multiple tasks. This is automaticity. This is called automaticity, or automatic processing, information processing. Okay, and this can happen with every human mind normally. This doesn't happen with particular human being, that they can have automatic information processing, but without exception, this every child can involve into automatic information processing thing. So take the example of any novice bike rider. Suppose he is new, he has to take care of his handle bar which he is holding, and he is going to take care of turning it, and he is going to take care of balancing it. So when he is going to involve into all these tasks, definitely he cannot avoid or dodge the pothole. He can fall somewhere, because his mind is involved into some of the subtasks, holding the handlebar and balancing it, and he is going to perform many tasks. But when he becomes an expert, he can easily hold the handlebar, he can easily dodge the pothole, he can turn it, and he can involve into talking when he is riding the bike. Same happens with the reader. When he is not going to consume his lot of energies into reading, or he is not bogged down into processing letters into words, and then words into sentences, and he is not going to find out every word and involved in the meaning of the word, then he can easily understand the message or the passage. Sam, so when he becomes expert, he can easily understand the passage. So computer processing is same thing. If our computer is involved into a task, and if that computer is involved into one of the heavy tasks, then it cannot perform other tasks. So the bottom-up approach says that our students can perform like a computer. It can involve into multiple tasking, but his energies must not be consuming into combining letters into words and words into phrases and sentences. Okay, then he can understand the passage easily. Those who support bottom-up approaches, they teach phonics first, they teach phonemic awareness and vocabulary, and then fluency, and then comprehension. They say that when they will be expert, they will perform this task automatically. They will perform 4 or 5 tasks at the same time. But the condition is this, that the students should not involve into any subtask to such an extent that other tasks may not be performed well. So it is our choice now that whether we teach the reading model by bottom-up approach or by top-down model of theory, depending upon the situation, depending upon the context where we are teaching, depending upon the situation of the students and condition of the students. But I don't say, and none says that any one of the model is perfect one, it should be followed. We can involve both the models while teaching reading to our students. So this was the bottom-up model of learning reading or teaching reading, and top-down model of teaching reading. So hope you understand these two approaches of bottom-up model and top-down model of teaching reading. If you have any questions, send me in written. I will respond to your questions. Thank you very much.